thanking the God of my understanding for bringing me here today. Raf, thank you for asking me to do this. Do I want to do it? No. But am I going to do it? Yes, because that's what this program teaches me. You know, it's not... My old sponsor used to say, like, when you're asked to do service, do not say no. And when it comes to doing share, because I get really, really, really anxious around doing shares. Even though I've done loads, I still get anxious. But she always reminded me, take yourself out of the way and remember it's not about you, it's about the newcomer. So I come and I do this because my recovery depends on it, to be honest. I love the steps, but I don't like the steps that consist of lists. I've been through the steps about 3 or 4 times, and I'm now I've just finished the step 5, and I remember writing my step 4 and reading out to my sponsor, and she was like, you know, that everybody that you're writing about in this step 4 needs to go on your step 8, and immediately my head went, not even my head, my mouth went, no, actually, you know, because I come from a background, well, I'm very accustomed to blaming. You know, everything is your fault, the man's fault, the person next door's fault, the dog's fault. Nothing was ever me. You know, I come from a background where I'm African, and in our household, we were never allowed to kind of air our dirty laundry in public. So if I did something, I'm not going to tell you. My mum used to cuss all the time. Why are you so secretive? And I said, look at her and think, hang on, but you taught me not to tell stuff, so I don't. So anything she fed me, I spun back on her, and it backfired in the long run, trust me. Listing people... even to identify that I had done something wrong to anybody was not something that I could do, because I blamed everybody for everything, my mum especially. You know, as a child, you know, my dad was a violent alcoholic, and as a child growing up, my life was quite dysfunctional. Even though on the outside looking in, it would appear like my family had everything together, because my mum worked really hard. She made sure we're always dressed nicely and, you know, we're presentable and we could hang with the best of them. However, you know, behind closed doors, that wasn't it, you know. And I grew up feeling really, really ashamed. And violence was something that became very, very normal for me, you know. My dad, like I said, my dad was violent. You know, as a child growing up, he used to watch him terrorising my mum. Me and my brothers would try to defend her, and he would turn on us. And I became just like him, you know, despite always saying that I would never become like him. And I went through certain situations as I'm growing up, you know, various kinds of abuse, and I always held my mum responsible. Simply because I wanted her to protect me in a way that she didn't have the ability to do at the time. You know, through doing a bit of work around this, through step work, I now know that my mum did the best she could with what she had, you know, and a lot of what she did with me and my brothers was what you call learnt behaviours. You know, she was brought up a certain way and she thought she was doing the right thing, but it wasn't. And I harmed a lot of people. You know, not just through my dishonesty, through my violence. You know, my using took me to very dark places. You know, I'm self-seeking and self-centered to the core. I was allergic to the word no. You know, I was always taught, ask and you shall be given. So if I ask you and you don't give me, there's going to be a problem. I'm going to find out if it's not through manipulation. If manipulation doesn't work, then it's going to be violence, and I'm going to take from you. And I can remember people really trying hard to help me, like Sharon. Biggest fear for you is that someone's going to knock on the door and tell me that you're dead. I couldn't fathom that. Like, who, me? Like, I don't have the problem. It's you. I'm like this because of you. If you didn't say this, then I wouldn't have done that. That kind of malarkey. My thinking is quite sick, you know. And everybody got it. Like, everybody. Like, my disease does not discriminate. If I want something, I'm going to get it. And I never saw anything wrong with it. And I can remember being in treatment. Oh, my gosh. This treatment facility... Yeah, they used to challenge me daily. Like, just come out of prison, I thought I was a roadman, and the attitude was diabolical, you know. They get, you know, first when they assessed me, they refused me, and then a couple of weeks later they accepted me. And one of the reasons why they refused me in the beginning is because I was quite blamey, because in the assessment they asked me various questions and I answered it. But someone took a chance with me and they took me in. And I remember sitting in this group and it was on this step 8 stuff, looking at people we had harmed, and you would have thought the sun shone out of my arse the way I was going, oh, not me. So they set me a challenge. We want you to phone somebody from your circle, can be anybody, and ask them how they see you. So I thought, brilliant, you know, I'm brainwave queen. I know who I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask Mum, because my mum is quite gentle until she's not gentle. But predominantly, she's really nice, soft-spoken. You know, she's quiet. So I thought, let me ask her. And I've got Mum. So the people in the rehab are telling me to ask you, how do you see me, especially when I'm intoxicated? And then there was a few seconds silence. And then she went, are you sure you want me to answer that? And then the heart starts beating like, oh, what's coming now? And she went, Sharon, we were so terrified of you that your daughter had a mobile phone at the age of 7 with 999 on speed dial that is giving clear directive that she sees you coming to my door, she needs to press dial and call the police. That, for me, annihilated me. I felt like someone kicked me in my stomach, chest, everywhere all at once, like, ugh. And then she began to say more, you know, like she reminded me of certain things that I did in Blackout that I'd forgotten, you know, me terrorising, ripping radiators off the wall because I want £10, kicking off her door, you know, my daughter wetting herself at the top of the stairs because police have come through the house looking for me. I couldn't see any of these things. And I can remember that the first time my mum got me arrested, foaming at the mouth, like, how dare you call the police for me? I'm like this because of you. Like, proper raging. But hearing that, you know, without a substance in me, hit me different. And I thought, oh my God, these people see me as a monster. That's when I started to kind of take the steps and recovery a bit more serious. Like, oh my gosh, this is what how other people are seeing you. Even like my daughter gave me a few home truths, and it was like, you know, that's not who I want. That's not how I want them to see me. So I'd done the steps, I completed treatment. However, I didn't stay clean. I stayed clean for 7.5 years, did the steps, but I was not honest in my step 4, meaning I was not honest in my step 5, 6, 7, and definitely not my 8. Because when it was put to me that the people on my step 4 list need to go in my step 8, there was a real resistance. I'm not apologising to that person. Why should I? And then it was explained to me, you know, it's about you taking accountability. And there's something really freeing in doing that. And I'm up, and immediately, little Shari is like, what about them? You know, like little kids, like, he done it first. It's not about that. It's about me. Because I'm the one that walks around with the shame and the guilt, because eventually it does catch me. I didn't think I had feelings or defects. I have them in abundance. I did a step 7, you know, God humbly removing. I really believe that when you did do those steps, that those defects are removed. Until I was banging it one day, somebody said something to me, and it was like, whoom, she's still there. The tools this program gives me, you know, doesn't remove the defects, but it teaches me how to manage them better. And step 8 is definitely part of that process. When I can own my part in things, don't matter what the other person's done to me. They don't have the same illness that I have. This literature tells me, you know, this disease, if left untreated, always resurfaces. And when I'm going around causing harm, I'm the one that sits with the pain. I'm the one that walks around with the shame and the guilt, and then I internalize it, and it does not help me at all. And if I'm not sorted internally, everybody outside gets it, you know. Step 8. And yeah, and it was also suggested you write a step 8 as if there's no step 9. My head does not put I'm a forward thinker in everything, you know. Step 8, so I've got to write the list and then what? So my sponsor's like, don't worry about the then what, just write the list. And I was quite selective about who I wanted to put on that list. And the one person that I didn't put on that list was me. And she went, why not? And my disease is mental. It's like in one hand, it's like I'm Johnny Bravo, I'm better than everybody, and then there's another side of me that feels like that. And so what? Like, it's not nothing, but it is something, you know? It's like, what that highlighted for me is the low self-esteem, how much I don't value myself at times. And it took me a minute to put my name on that list when I did do it eventually. So I've done the list anyway, simply because I wanted to keep the sponsor quiet, blah, 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 blah. There was lots of fear. But what my experience shows me is that when you don't do the right things, karma has a funny way of catching up with you. And that is why I try to adhere to this program to the best of my ability. Doing the inventories daily as well. You know, I know this is a step 8, but step 10 helps me a lot. Because before I relapsed, I stopped doing the gratitude list. I'd stop doing the inventory. The step 10 inventory shows me what's going on in the here and now. Yeah, because my things seem to kind of follow me. Like, things from my past can carry into my future when I don't do this stuff. You know, and I find myself repeating the same behaviours, using different tactics. And my higher power has got such a sense of humour. You know, I couldn't see myself, so he gave me a daughter who is identical to me with no drugs. And I watch her sometimes and think, oh my God. And when I get really angry with her, it's not really her I'm angry with, it's myself. Because even though she doesn't use, a lot of her behaviours are things that she learned from me. The manipulating, the scheming, the quick thinking, the justifying, all of that stuff, she's me. And a lot of the things that I used to do to my mum, she has and can still do to me today, where I'm like, oh, you can't even get mad at her because this is you. And that is what motivates me to do the step work even more. And what I've learned is that when I don't want to do something, I need to do it. Yeah, you know, I'm one of them people, if something is really good for me, I'm just rebellious by nature. It's a default setting for me. Yes, it's no. You know, there's a big arguing first. Like, you asked me to do share. My head went no. Straight away. You didn't want me to do step 4, so why should I do a step 8? It's not about that. It's not about that. For me, it's about keeping my side of the street clean. So I do this stuff. You know, if I do something wrong to people, I make sure I do a lot of journaling. And when my step 8 comes, I'm going to write down everybody that needs to go in it and not pick and choose what suits me. Even like making the actual amends. I remember my mum saying to me, you will say sorry, and before you even finish saying sorry, you're doing exactly what you said you're never going to do again. You ain't even finished. Like, do you know what I mean? And that's not who I aspire to be. You know, today my mum trusts me, like, with everything. You know, I'm a power attorney. I can sit next to her because there was a time if I sat next to her, she'd immediately kick her bag to the side because she knows what's going to happen next. You know, start fidgeting and something's gone. And even that I didn't see as a harm. But it's not, you know, the more my mum's getting old now, and like I've had to support her. Like, she got evicted from my daughter's house because my daughter wasn't paying rent, and I've had to support her into getting housing. And during that time, you know, that's the close. Thank you, acknowledge that's the closest me and my mum have ever been, because she's starting to talk more. I see where I get my secretiveness from, though, because she held back a lot of things. Even though she told me how I affected her, there was lots more that she didn't tell me. And she has been telling me, and I was like, how come you didn't say anything to Mum? And she's like, you weren't in a place where you could hear me, and that's absolutely right. You know, because even if she did say something to me, I would bat it back. It's you, it's not me. But it's not, it is me. You know, there's many people that have gone through the same things as me that don't respond the way that I do. But because of the way that I am wired, I call it the disease of addiction. You know, I'm not wired right. And the solution for me lies in the literature, in the meetings, in the doing step work and doing the things that make me feel very uncomfortable despite myself. So when my head says no, I just do it anyway, whether I want to or not. Right now, I want to be indoors, chilling, watching Netflix, but that is not what keeps me clean. So for me, this is a life-saving, life-changing program, and if I need to write down people, even if I don't want to, they are definitely going in my step 8 because that's where the solution lies for me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those are the maintenance steps for me. If I don't do those, if I don't do them properly, I will use again, and I don't want to use again. You know, today I have a life. I've got my grandchildren in my life. You know, I've got a nice home. Everything is blossoming, and it's really nice. I'm actually doing a share in my stomping ground because I see ewes all around here. Today, I just drive past and none of this is attractive to me. Do you know what I mean? I never want to return to this. So for me, it's no-brainer. It's NA or no way. But anyway, thank you so much for letting me share, and I'll leave it there.
Thank you.